Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Grissom. Appreciate everything. This is going to be the first video that I post. Sorry about the mishap with the notes. I figure it's better just to do videos. Kind of the way I have it set up for notes was kind of the template was drawn up by ChatGPT. I just insert my notes and use Grammarly to kind of correct it. But I figured the video is way better, and I'm learning the concepts way better anyways by doing this. So, and feel more comfortable implementing the code and kind of what you're discussing in the lecture. So I'm actually grateful for it. So thank you for everything and thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. So we'll start this off. I won't waste any more of your time. So this will be a second video, go over the first video. So the first video really discusses kind of the sensors, what we're using, and basically I am just having my notes right here to go over everything. Here's obviously your recording, but going forward, it's just how to add new devices and hardwares to our M5 Core 2 processor, how to attach everything, going over VCNL 440, basically talking about how it is a light and proximity sensor, going over basically what that means, how it attaches. You basically discuss how to go to it, Adafruit library, how to go online, do research. You talk about, I will show you it, which I thought was very insightful, is you talk about the basics of it. And in here, no, it's not there. Sorry. It is actually on, and Grissom, no, it would be there. So basically you talk about right here is, there it is. Okay. Got it. He talks about the main proximity, you talk about the template, you talk about implementing the code, but I am looking for something more specific, which was a website. Yes, here it is. Okay. So you talk about the links, you go over SparkFun, the tutorial, you go over the YouTube videos for the three, which is I squared C, SPI, I square S. You talk about basically introducing I squared C. You talk about, I have it hooked up right here, but you can't really see it. I'll take it off right now. So basically talk about the different ports. You talk about what each one kind of means, where it goes. You talk about basically the ground, the G32, G33, how we can actually take this off, where to place the hard wiring, which is, as you said in the video and as you showed, is how you put yours on your device. Perfect. Here it is. So as you can see, this is the game controller, but underneath it right here is what you put in the back and how to do that. We did that already in class, but it was nice to kind of see again. I'm just going to connect mine. Actually, we're going to be talking about this. So what you discussed in the first two videos is basically what everything means. You kind of go over everything, kind of talk about the different ports, the different flash, what each one of these things mean. You go into detail about talking about the SD card, how it right here says which ports is connected to. You talk about the MPU 6886. We pulled that up, did research on that. That's just some key components. Here's one of the connected, so I can show you one of the codes that I followed along. So obviously the phase 2 I2 or I squared C scanner. We run this, and we go here, obviously connected. So we want to build it. I don't know if it's not letting me do it because of the screen share. So I'll just move that across. Then we build it. So, and as you can see, it compiles. You discuss kind of how to implement this, how to install the Adafruit library. That's super weird. Adafruit. So now, M5 core processor. It was literally just working. So that is super weird. M5 core. Yeah, it was literally just working. Let me go here. Sorry about this. Disconnected. No, that shouldn't be an issue. So it should run. Let me see. And make sure, there it is. Okay, it does run, and as you can see, is the proximity as I go closer, as I touch it, it shows different. As you discuss phone, turn on the light, put the light to it, look at the values change. Talk about the light, you talk about all this. Let me see some other core concepts discussed that I've written notes for. You talk about basic protocols, talk about the SHT40, which deals with temperature and humidity, which we've kind of implemented later on, as you can see in our code here between the labs and our project, which we have kind of implemented both the proximity and everything already. But this kind of gave a rehash as being a step ahead. I think it was kind of useful to go back, to be honest with you. We also talked about hardware for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but also wired protocols. Yeah, in SparkFun, we talked about the serial UART ports. In specific, you kind of broke down the different types of ports, so I could show you that in the video.
This is actually really cool.
So in the video, as fast forward, we're going to talk about. See, this is what was the main concept in the first video was SPI. You talk about the controller to the peripheral 1 and 2, but you discuss kind of how this SPI doesn't work as well as the I2C does because it's going to two peripherals, and in the I2, as you show later on, it actually has two controllers going into two. So, and it is, there you go, perfect. As this is shown, this is a huge concept because as you talk about the SDA, SCL, which is serial data, okay, would be the first of that, and then it'll be serial clock for the SCO. And you talk about that, and you talk about how to communicate between the controller to the peripheral, and that we have access and data basically that we pass through. So it usually starts in, I actually wrote it down here. So let me go to it. Sorry about this. Okay. So the VCNL 4040 would be 0x60. So that would be what we use from the controller to the peripheral to communicate that and basically make sure that we're going to the VCNL and we are telling the Adreno to basically communicate with the VCNL. The difference between that and the humidity and temperature, which is a SHT40, would be 0x44 or 0x45. So they have specific identifiers, and if you can't really use the same identifier, because if you use the same, then they're just going to get confused and it's just going to throw it off because you want specific identifiers to tell you that where your Arduino is communicating to, basically. And then we talk about basically the PCB, which is the printed circuit board. And we talk about that, which is, I can show you this. This is a cool concept that you discussed. Once again, I already showed you kind of the code running. So you discuss basically a VCNL. You talk about basically the camera looking thing in the middle is actually what VCNL 4040 is, which is interesting. And these are all the ports and basically the motherboard that is attached to. But the actual device is this camera looking thing, and vice versa for the SHT40. And then basically we continue on and talking about the schematics, which I'll show you. So you can see the schematics. As you can see, the camera right there is the actual, or camera-like, I should say, is the actual VCNL 4040. And then we kind of switch on to showing and discussing kind of how to do this, how to install Adafruit library, as you can see here, and implementing this first code to basically do the proximity and light and the VCNL. Yeah, so that is basically it for the first video. We kind of just talk about in the second video is a lot of like kind of breaking down the M5 Core 2 processor and the schematics of it and what it does, what devices it has attached to it. As you can see here, you kind of go over this code and kind of discuss why we have these specific lines right here, which are basically the pins, which are on the back, and we could find the number right in the back of it. As you can see, it's labeled right in the back. So, and that is why you go over is to show us where these numbers and where it's coming from in the code, which was nice. And you start off basically by just deleting all the unnecessary data and breaking it down. We first start off with like a print. And then we start off with the actual algorithm, which you kind of implement, but we miss a parenthesis sign on the algorithm, which throws it off when you're doing that. And then we talk about the electrical timing circuit. We talk about the BM8563, and then you basically just go over more of the code and writing it out and what each line means and how it's communicating to the actual scanner. Overall, very insightful video and very well done. And I appreciate you allowing me to do this, Dr. Grissom. And I would do this going forward because I feel like I learned material. I'm going over it. I'm thinking about it more, and I appreciate it. So actually, this is a huge help. And whatever points you think can kind of verify that I took my time in watching the video and did the notes and everything, I appreciate it. But overall, I just want to learn the concepts, and I feel like this has helped me learn the concepts. So God bless, and thank you, Dr. Grissom. I appreciate it, and I will get the next video going shortly. And this is it for this video. Hopefully this is enough material. Thank you. God bless.